Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to continue and resume a bit about the friendship reading. So yes, I'm going to do the one that I had pendant, that it's the friendship between BTS leader RM and a TXT leader Soobin. So yes, let's see what the cards have to say about this. Um, from RM's side, we got the King of Cups, the Lovers, and the Free of Cups. And then from Subin's side, we got the Six of Wands, Four of Cups, Page of Cups. Then the relationship as an overall, the Free of Swords, Devil, and the first card is the World. I'm sorry, the World, Free of Swords, and the Devil. And then from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, they got the card of Venus in Sagittarius, flirtation, which it does make sense, like considering that Subin is a Sagittarius Sun and RM it's Moon in Sagittarius. So obviously there's a lot of Jupiter energy here. They must have this in common in a very like different styles, but they have this need for expansion. And I don't know why, but some of the most important influential leaders always have something in Sagittarius, either it's Sun or Moon. So that's very interesting actually. Let's start with the reading. um Honestly, it's very nice to see that in both sides there's a lot of cups that talk about how emotional they are. Probably these are people that more than thinking about, or even talking to each other about material things, accomplishments and stuff, and material gain and stuff, or being just rational. They talk about how they feel. They probably like are very expressive about this and the importance of talking about emotions and to go deep within yourself to find out, what's going on. Let's remember that Subin has a moon in Pisces, so he can be emotional, and in Aaron's case he's a Virgo sun, but um I believe his Venus is in Scorpio, so there's this need for a strong connection and also him feeling very passionate about the things he loves. So I think that starting here from his side, from RM's side, with the King of Cups, definitely he's a guy that in this connection, especially with Subin, there's a sense that obviously in comparison RM has a better mastery of his emotions. Like RM is much more experienced. RM in this connection with Subin is the most experienced one. This doesn't mean that he is like this in other aspects of his life. It's just that probably it has to do with being the leader, and and somehow he had learned to embrace this emotional nature of him, and also learning that for him his role and what he can bring as a leader is to talk about how they feel, and to be a sort of pillar, a sort of supporter of this. um, then he got the card of the Lovers and the card of the Free of Cups. So see a lot of emotions and also the need of a lot of union. So probably when it comes to Subin, what he wants to transmit to Subin is that there's a union between them, even though probably RM it's a very busy person, he has his own agendas and his own schedules. He does love a lot, like Soobin, and I believe that this has to do with with the other members of TXT as well. So there's this need of, okay, if you want to talk about how you feel, if you want to express yourself, if you want to connect with, like somehow, go deep or have a deep conversation with me, we can meet, we can reunite, we can share a moment and it's going to be lovely, and it's going to be a collaboration, like definitely, and also celebration, because I believe that RM definitely here with all these cups. There's a lot of warm feelings for Soobin. There's probably he sees himself in Soobin. There's a bit of identification in this. But he's very optimistic in this side. He comes with all this cups energy, and with the energy of the lovers, that also invites Subin to that that sometimes it's okay to not knowing, to have a bit of indecision and not knowing what's the right path, as a leader, probably. In this card, the lovers literally it means union, but for me, the lovers is about making a decision, and when you have two options and you don't know what to choose. Um, so for me, from RM's side, he had always felt this sort of push and pull, and he had always tried to balance these two options, not being so, always been very, like, allowing the options to exist, not being so decisive and be like, oh no, I'm choosing this, but I'm ruling this out. No, for RM, there's this sense of, like, you have to embrace that there's always going to be two sides of things, and this reminds me a lot of Libra, but it's about this, it's about how we are always very complex, and how sometimes we do not want to choose, we do not feel like we are ready, and that you shouldn't let that make you feel less, or make you feel afraid, that actually, like, not knowing what to choose, or not actually not being sure if you're doing the right or a good job. Probably this is something that a lot of leaders go through, a moment of, it's like, am I doing this right, am I being a good leader? In the case of RM, definitely like there's no doubts, because he is very honest, and he believes in balance. He believes in, also here with the Three of Cups, he believes in collaboration. He believes in his people. Um, he believes in his members. So there's this very warm feeling of, like, okay, I can mess up, and maybe you know, I'm not always right. But everything I do it from my heart, and I put my heart out there, so they know that I am being honest, that I'm taking care of them somehow, that I see them, that I consider every one of them before making a decision, and that this is not about me, that this is about being humble, that every decision that he does is not about him, it's about the group. So maybe this is what he wants to share with Subin, this, that he shouldn't, like, leave this, like, leadership or this leader role position as something, like, confusing, or something very heavy. That if you allow yourself to be congruent, and to know yourself very well as well, to just keep working on yourself. And if you open your heart, you are not going to regret anything, and you're going to be able to always celebrate new victories with the rest. So in the case of Subin, he got the Six of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Page of Cups. Also, a lot of cups. See, a lot of, like, a lot of, like, receptivity towards RMs. Probably he had had these conversations before. They had talked, they had communicated. So definitely, since he starts with the Six of Wands, there's this like, okay, if I go to him and I ask him because I have my doubts or because I just want to discuss something and I don't know who to turn to, he feels very confident in his approach. He's like, okay, if I send him a message, he's going to respond. Or if probably Subin is also a bit hesitant about, like bothering RM, like somehow feeling like he's bothering him because, RM is busy. But he's like, no, every time I had done it, I had received a very welcoming answer, very loving nature, very open to discussion, open to communication. I always felt like cherished and valued. So definitely for Subin, this is a victory. For him, he feels victorious, he feels proud because he really does admire Aram as a person. And he's like, okay, I really feel honored and I feel very proud that I can have this moment with him. And definitely in this sense, with all these cups, definitely Subin, it's very emotional. His emotions are very seen here, are very present. I think that he struggles a bit with like the everyday life, like the everyday responsibilities, probably. There's a part of him, this is the Four of Cups is generally you know, in the in the traditional Rider White is the card of, apathy. In this card, it's more about the habits that we have, and that sometimes these habits become too repetitive, that we somehow start to feel a bit indifferent towards it. So probably for Subin, it's like it's not that he lost his passion, it's just that sometimes he feels like everything is very repetitive, or maybe the way he does things, he feels like he should be different, like he should change his style a bit, or maybe his style of communication with the other members, maybe how he does things, what he chooses. He just wishes he could introduce change. And here with the Page of Cups, it shows that he's a very emotional guy, in the sense that he can go through feeling um, like a very a strong wave of emotions all of a sudden. Feeling very sensitive, feeling very feeling like mood swings. And he doesn't know how to control this. He doesn't know why he's feeling like this. Probably in moments where he feels like he should be happier. There are moments where he feels very emotional and that he tries to contain these emotions, but these emotions get more intense, and more intense, and he feels overwhelmed. He probably is a very sensitive guy. So probably what he wants to discuss with RM is how do I do when I go from 0 to 100, when I start feeling so uncomfortable in my skin that I want to cry or I want to run away because I don't know how to handle my emotions. And definitely you see the different states in them because Subin has a Page of Cups. And in the case of RM, at the beginning, he got the King of Cups. So there's a lot of differences, a lot of years of differences in their lives, in their experiences. But at the same time, both of them, what they have in common is that they acknowledge that the emotionality is there and that they wouldn't be able to be something else because they are a bit like this. They are very emotional leaders. They are people that probably are too transparent with how they feel. Probably they cannot they cannot pretend that they feel something else because it's very noticeable. Um, but I sense that in the case of Soobin, probably he's a bit more like sometimes it's like difficult to when he changes of moods all of a sudden you're like wow, what's going on, like it's he's still in the process of managing. But I think that this is definitely because he feels much more pressure, and and he gets very frustrated all of a sudden. He feels frustrated. The more emotional he gets, the more frustrated he gets. Um, and then the relationship as an overall, they got the wall card, the free of swords, and the devil card. So I think that the relationship it's very stable, like in the sense that they probably talked very often or they see each other very often. Um, and I think that maybe what they talk about, or actually I could see probably RM talking to him about this. It's about the importance to understand that you have to that it's okay to feel. It doesn't matter how you feel or what your emotions are. That you should embrace your ability to feel, because somehow it is about having soul. It's about being present. It's about being a human being. That it's okay to be emotional while being a leader, or while trying to be responsible. That is not there's not a part in any guidebook that says that a leader shouldn't cry or that a leader shouldn't express their frustrations. That actually, a leader is made thanks to the other's effort. So he's like, okay, if some days you are feeling a bit overwhelmed with emotions, like show it, like talk to your members about it, express it. And also that everything, the world is a card that talks about cycles. So probably he's like, you shouldn't take things too seriously while you are experimenting it, because nothing lasts forever, and life is about cycles. And maybe now you're feeling like this, but then this cycle is going to be over, and a new one is going to start. So, this is life. It's all about movement. So you never know. Like, don't get so drowned into the waters of your emotions, thinking that, oh, this is it. There's no turning back. Like, I feel like I have no turning point from this. No, feel like lighten a bit. Like manage your emotions, like and also go deep inside yourself to know what is causing this chaos inside of you. Then with the free of source, yeah, it talks about suffering. So it's like about embracing changes in life, and that sometimes we are going to face suffering and probably this has to do with the pressure of being in this industry. That it's not that they are all going to be happy all the time. And I think that this is very important that RM actually is able to talk about this with Soobin, because sometimes Sagittarius energy, they tend to be like very much in denial about the hardships or about the negative things, especially Sagittarius people. And Moon is Sagittarius also, but they carry so much wisdom inside themselves. There could come to a moment, depending on the experiences that they have, to somehow being able to integrate that suffering. It's also an option. That is not that you're always going to be that lucky and you're going to always experience like happiness and moments of celebration and moments of success. There's going to be consequences, and there's going to be ups and downs. And that this doesn't last forever. But yes, that's suffering, and you suffering because things don't go the way you want to, or how fast you want them to be, or the way you expect them to be. Sometimes, yes, you can suffer, you can experience suffering and sorrow while being in this position. But that's because you are alive and you are feeling. and you have to integrate the suffering as well in your life. And then also with the card of the devil, also probably RM also talks to him about the possibility that temptation is there. And probably he talks about this from his perspective, about the dark side of fame. That probably he advises him that this could happen as well. That sometimes, fame has its consequences, fame has its ugly sides. So probably he also talks with Soobin about this, about that sometimes we are always working towards a goal, and once we are up there in the top of the world, we think like, oh, everything is shining, everything is beautiful, everyone is celebrating us. And actually then there comes this dark part where people want to manipulate us, where people want to take advantage of us, when people want to manipulate us into doing some favors for them, where people lie to us or try to trick us or try to bring us down. This is part of fame. So he's like, don't worry, don't fear fame. Like, just order your thoughts and just transit them, but always keep your eyes open. Always acknowledge that yes, there's going to be days of confusion. Yes, there's going to be days where you're going to see the dark side of people, possibly of people that you think you trust. So, be ready. Be ready because it's part of the industry, is part of what they are living, and that he shouldn't be afraid of the dark side. That he should face it, like look at it at the eye. Look at your fears, like face your fears. Do not run away from them. Do not pretend that it's not there, because you're going to be very unhappy if you try to run away from your fears or from feeling sad. You have to embrace it as well. Then from the card of flirtation, Venus in Sagittarius. Yes, definitely between them, the Sagittarius energy really like it's very like prominent in their connection. And here with the card of flirtation, definitely they do have a very fun connection, where actually they make fun to it of like they make jokes to each other, they laugh, they just feel like brothers, and this is and the kind of flirtation is because probably they talk to each other, they talk when they are together, they talk about their ideas of their vision of expansion and their needs for expansion and to explore new and crazy ideas. And probably in these ideas is the project of them working together on something. So this is why Venus in Sagittarius is here, because probably, I don't know if it's Soobin, I don't know if it's from RM side, but both of them are, when they are with each other, they somehow flirt or play with the idea of let's work together, let's do something together in the past, like let's help each other out, we are learning from each other here, let's create something fun, let's have fun, let's explore new options. So who knows, we could have a collaboration in the future. So yes, guys, this is all I have for these two. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I see you in my next video. Bye.